Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. Today we're talking about PlayStation Vita, Nintendo Switch, 3DS, and more. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, I'm still sick and my voice is absolutely shot today, but we've still got some news to talk about. We'll start out by talking about Nintendo 3DS emulation on Android with Citra. And if you've got a Mali GPU, you're gonna like this update. So in nightly build version 1885, which just released, it adds in some more Vulkan components. And this will improve Citra's performance on Mali GPUs by about 40%. That is absolutely massive. And on top of that, the more experimental Citra Canary version 2461 just released, and there's a huge custom textures rewrite. Custom textures and texture filters now work together correctly, and asynchronous texture loading is implemented. So to pick up these latest and greatest versions of Citra, head to citra-emu.org and click on download here. And from here, click on manual download. And then you'll be able to see the nightly builds. You can pick it up for your operating system of choice, and also the more experimental Canary builds, and you can pick it up for your operating system of choice. Next up, this is a quick one, but a fun one, an Emulicious, the multi-system emulator for Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Master System, Game Gear, MSX, and MSX2 just got a brand new update. It just turned 10 years old. The update, I wouldn't say is the biggest update out there, but at the same time, it's a nice little update, especially if you use the debugger. Now this is a Java-based emulator, so it's compatible with a whole bunch of different systems, provided those systems support Java. Moving on, and Kirby's Dream Land 2 just got an awesome new ROM hack. Version 1.0 of Kirby's Dream Land 2 DX just released. In my opinion, this is an awesome ROM hack. It's got full colorizations, the slowdowns on the game have been virtually eliminated, and it's got a brand new settings menu. Honestly here, looking at these screenshots, I think the author of this did an excellent job in breathing extra life into the game. I may have to play through it again. Next up, Nintendo Switch emulator on Android Skyline just got a brand new update. If you head to skyline-emu.1 and click on download, you'll see the latest version at the time of filming is version 2462. Someone was able to get Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu up and running at a solid 30 frames per second on a Snapdragon 680, well below the minimum specs. This is pretty impressive, and interestingly enough, someone using an outdated version of Skyline Edge on a horribly underpowered phone here, a Snapdragon 400 series, was able to get Skyward Sword to boot. It only makes it to the main menu and it's only 9 frames per second, but this is pretty promising. Moving on, and we're talking about PowKiddy, which has found itself in a very weird place right now. The X55 hasn't launched just yet, but a few units have made their way into the wild to be reviewed by, well, reviewers. Retro Breeze here has a video which I will drop a link to in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. Apparently their unit has a dark screen and doesn't perform well, not even with PS1 games. I have got no idea why PowKiddy would send out an inferior product for review, or why it even left their shop in the first place. The video does explain quite a few things, but there's still more questions than answers at the end of the day on this one. Next up, we're talking about Anbernic, and in a surprise move, they've announced the RG353PS. They're expecting this one to cost less than $100. It'll be Linux only, and Retro Handhelds has a lot of information on it. I'll drop a link to this article in the description below. At a super high level, it's expected it's going to be a lower priced version of the 353P. But next up, we're talking about PlayStation Vita emulation on Android with Vita3k. And the brand new version of Vita3k is just around the corner. So the Vita3k team announced today that they are accepting donations and subscriptions through Ko-fi, or Coffee rather. And they say here as a bonus announcement, Android V5 will be coming in the coming days with a lot of fixes and improvements, so stay tuned for that. And speaking about Android, this one is really interesting. The Linux distribution blenOS v2 Avial is now available. And if I scroll down to the major changes under 7 here, it says Android apps are now supported out of the box using Waydroid, and you can easily install them from your favorite app stores like Aurora Store and F-Droid, and use them just like native windowed Linux apps. So if you are looking for Android stuff on Linux, you might want to check out blenOS. It might be good for you. And speaking about Linux, if you play Roblox on Linux, your life may have just got a little bit more miserable. Probably. The new version of Roblox doesn't support Wine. It actively blocks it. The Roblox staff confirmed that the block was intentional, and they say the decision was due to a combination of security and compatibility concerns. They cannot provide a specific timeline to when it will be supported on Linux again, but they do assure it will remain a priority for their team. But next up, on a more positive note, Flathub just got a brand new look and feel on Linux. It looks a little bit better than it did before, and now we've got verified apps. In the emulator section, we can see that RetroArch, Citra, and Simple64 are already verified. And last up here for you Manjaro users, version 22.1 Talos has just been released. This one features the Linux kernel 6.1 LTS. It's available in GNOME, KDE, and XFCE. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. I apologize if this video was a little bit hard to listen to. My voice is absolutely shot. Let me know your thoughts about anything we talked about today in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.